Hello there, everybody. It's me again. And today's date is January 16th, 2018, or 1/16/2018 is the date that I am filming this portion of this video. And folks, again, it's already over and done with. You have to be an imbecile if you cannot see what they've done. You're either an imbecile or you are a control freak. And you are refusing to see the truth when the truth is staring you right in the face. Okay? And what's also, here's another point I want to make clear. Perfectly clear. Here in the year 2018, by the time it got to this point, should I say back in 1997, by the time we've reached this point, if you think that the entire Public No Defender's Office did not know about this, if you think that the entire Jacksonville Sheriff's Office did not know about this, including the sheriff, if you think that the entire state attorney's office did not know about this, if you think that at the very least the chief judge of the Fourth Circuit Court did not know about this, you're self-deceived. You're an imbecile. There is no way to do what they're doing without everybody, without at the very least the heads of departments knowing about this. Period. And over time, what happened is all those people that were involved just moved up the food chain. Remember, Charlie in Charge Coffer finally became a judge. Remember that? Sergeant David Stevens, he retired, I believe, in 2013 as a chief of the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. How about that? All of these people got to go on with their lives while they destroyed mine. And remember what the end result was. The three Thornton women they keep doing the same thing to everybody that they come across. It's your fault it's your fault. They blame other people for their crimes. Somebody needs to go tell the Thornton women it's not their fault that 8-year-old Cherish Periwinkle was kidnapped, raped, and murdered. That fault falls on Charlie in Charge Coffer, Sergeant David Stevens, Terrence Martin. That's who's to blame for that. And all these other criminals, Boimer, Strickland, Ratley, Etheridge, Washington, Quintero, who's now a sergeant, by the way. Yeah, they all got to go on with their lives. They all got to go on with their lives. Charlie in Charge got to play judge. That is, until I found out about this. Don't worry, we're going to get to that. But folks, this is what happens when you operate under opinion. This is what happens when you operate under opinion. Well, I think, don't think, no, don't tell, show. Okay, go. Here's what I know. Y'all are all going to prison. Now, in this video, what you're going to clearly see is I have bonded out, and now you're going to see, clear as day, how they removed me. And you will understand exactly why I had no idea that they did. I had no idea that there was a felony case file. I had no idea that there was a misdemeanor case file. And you will see it clear as day. I spell it out. And, well, Kay, how did you find out? Almighty God showed me. Believe me, don't believe me. It's a long video, man. It's a long video. You don't want to watch it, don't watch it. I don't care. It doesn't change the outcome. You're just a control. Those of you who are saying, I don't believe you, you're a control freak. You all are calling out yourselves. I told you that's exactly what would happen. Sit down and shut up. You're not going to change the outcome. Stop trying to bully people. Stop trying to profess to knowing everything. And all these know-it-alls, they ain't never going to do nothing about it. You want to bet? Look what they've already done about it. They've already done a whole lot. I haven't even got to the part what they've done about it. Wait till you see what they've done about it. They've confirmed. And remember, the information that you're seeing is their information. All of the information that I'm showing to you, all of the documents are their own documents. They're caught. We have serious problems. Now the question is, how much longer are you Christian law-abiding citizens, going to allow this to keep going on? Because it's only a matter of time. If they're willing to do this to me, if they're willing to blame a little girl, if they're willing to blame at the time she was 10, the Thornton girl was 10 years old when they blamed her. Now she's, 16 or 17. If they're willing to blame a 16-year-old little girl for their crimes, think about that. If they're willing to blame a 16-year-old little girl, the little girl's mother and the little girl's grandmother, what makes you think they're not willing to blame you for their crimes? These are scum people. These are threats. You can have your little Buster Brown haircut. You can put on your little Cheshire Cat smile all you want. You all are criminals. You're thugs. You're bullies. They haven't done anything to me. I'm still sitting in the very same place. I gave them my address. I gave them 2 telephone numbers. I gave them my cell phone number, which is still working today, and I gave them a Google Voice number. Haven't heard anything. I only heard from Ivy one time. And then what do? They all pop their little stupid pills because they're caught. How much longer are you, the law-abiding citizen, going to put up with this? You are the one that's allowing this to keep going on. And you are going to have to be held accountable. You are going to be held accountable for you remaining silent. That's what's wrong with this country. We're afraid to offend. We are afraid to offend. While the bullies, they are not afraid to offend. The libertards, they're not afraid to offend. The control freaks, they're not afraid to offend. You don't have to prove anything. Being a Christian is much more than being nice. Period. Now, this is over and done with. Especially after watching this video, you're going to understand exactly why I had no idea what was going on. I had no idea what they did, what they had done. I only figured it out after I was told by 3 mothers that I was called a sexual deviant by 3 mothers. Said that I had in 2015. And in yesterday's, or in the previous video, in the introduction, I said that Sheriff Periwinkle was killed was murdered in May. Incorrect. She was murdered in July. Donald Smith got out of jail because of that plea, that non-existent plea deal that Terrence Martin made with him. Because Terrence Martin, you had no authority. You knew that you were impersonating a state attorney. But hey, you can do that because you had all these judges in your back pocket. Because if you go down, they all go down. That's why they don't want to do anything. Because they all have hooks in them. You're starting to see how corrupt these supposed high moral, high character people are. They're lost. They're godless people that care only about one thing, and that's the dollar. Well, guess what? Almighty God's had enough of them. Donald Smith got out in May, the last day of May. 21 days later, June 21st, is when Donald Smith kidnapped, raped, and murdered 8-year-old Cherish Periwinkle. You remember that date. You remember that date. And don't say, why did God allow it? He hasn't been allowing it because you'll see in future videos. All of the stuff that you'll see in future videos. But again, in this video, you will understand exactly why. You will see, and again, it's their documents that I'm showing you. I'm not pulling this up. I'm not making up a given opinion. I'm giving facts. I'm telling the truth. We got a lot of criminals up there, and they're scared to it. And everybody else is scared. Why is everybody else scared? Because they've got little secrets of themselves. This is what happens when you try to cover up your faults. 20 years of somebody's life gets stolen from them. 3 women get blamed for somebody else's crimes. And an 8-year-old little girl gets kidnapped, raped, and murdered. And her family is torn apart. All in an attempt to cover up for the real criminals. Terrence Martin, Charlie Coffer, and all these other people. And everyone else, again, I said this again, let me make it clear. Everyone who's in a position to do something about this. News media, Ken Amaro, you're a gutless wonder. I showed you this, you saw this, and what do? You play stupid. You're a gutless wonder. You're a disgrace. I showed it to, what's her name? She's now over at Channel 4. I showed it to her too. I showed it to her first. Oh, I promise we'll get to the bottom of it until you see who's involved. Then all of a sudden, what do? You run off to sell cupcakes in St. Augustine. Until it's blew over. It ain't blowing over, because you ain't going to sweep me underneath the carpet. Again, I don't care if I got to go down to that daggum courtroom as soon as the Donald Smith trial starts up. If that's what my God tells me to do, then that's what I'm going to do. You all have stolen 20 years of my life, and I'm coming back for them all, for every single last one of them. Every single last one of you criminals owes me $20 million. There's over 100 of you all. Do the math. That's 100 times 20 million. Do the math. And that's just for the criminals. That's not counting all of the entities. The Jacksonville Sheriff's Office owes me. The 4th Circuit Court owes me. The Clerk of the Court owes me. The State Attorney's Office owes me. The Public Defender's Office owes me. We haven't even got to the FDLE because they're involved as well. Bunch of criminals. All because supposed law enforcement all overlooking this simply because of who it is that has made. Funny, it's a mistake when they do it. It's a mistake. Oops, sorry. Go tell Cherish Periwinkle, oops, sorry. Oh, you can't, because Cherish Periwinkle is dead because she was kidnapped, raped, and murdered July 21st, 2015. June 21st, 2015. Somebody better go tell the Thornton women it's not their fault. Oh, we can't tell them it's their fault because then we'll be snitching. That's not snitching. All you're doing is reporting a crime. Stop operating underneath opinion. Let's get on with this video. After watching this video, you will understand exactly what they did. And they knew that as soon as the papers were filed, and they were forced to file it, and you will understand it. You will understand it. They were forced to file it. As soon as the papers were filed, you criminals knew that this day was coming. And now that it's come, now that I have had the audacity to plop it on your desk, you supposed law enforcement officer, Mike Williams, you're a puppet. You're a punk is what you are. You are a criminal. Same thing with you, Pat Ivy. All you can do is threaten and bully. We coming for you, son. We coming for you. You are a threat. You are a threat to every child. You are a threat to every law-abiding citizen. Just like I said in the very first video. You're scum. You need to repent. Because if you die without repenting, you are going to split hell wide open. And you're going to spend eternity burning in hellfire. That's I'm telling you, don't take the coward's way out, Charlie. You're a weak-willed person. These are weak-willed people. These are cowards that hide, but they're hiding behind a title. Period. Is what they're doing. They're hiding behind a title. No, you're not going to define me. You scumbag. You're criminal. You're scum. You're scum. That's why you melt every time I walk in the room. That's why you hide from me, refuse to return my phone calls. You're scared to death. Not of me. Not that I'm going to do something to you. You're scared of the truth, of the facts. You cannot believe that somebody like me, by your definitions, a criminal, figured out what you did and caught you. Let me tell you, you all ain't that smart. Y'all stupid. You can't even keep your lies straight. But anyway, enough of that. Let's get on with this video. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly why I didn't have a clue. And you will understand exactly why, and you will see clearly that felony case file, it's a lie. It's a crime. Same thing with the misdemeanor case file. And remember, I'm using their own documents to show it to you. I'm not asking you to believe me. I'm asking you to believe the evidence. I'm asking you to believe the criminals themselves. You're caught, son. It's time for you to give up the ghost. We are coming. We are coming for you. So let's get on with this video, shall we? Now they're having a heart attack because I've bonded out. And this 12/18 court date is now 10 days away. It's coming at them. And now everybody knows that it's there. Everybody knows that I'm supposed to be in court, in circuit court. And the only reason why I had to be in circuit court is because all of these people have lied about me. And I'm a sexual deviant. I hunt down and I'm searching for, I wanted a younger girl. I wanted a 14-year-old girl that I could give $100 to pay for sex. Okay? So, they're having a cow. What do we do? What do we do? Because as soon as this court date comes up, we're all going to prison. We're all going to go to prison. So, Mr. Charlie in charge comes up with a excellent idea. He says, you know what? Here's what we'll do. because we're just dealing with numbers. That's all we're dealing with. That's the number that we're concerned with. That is the number that is on all of the misdemeanor, that's on all the felony documents. 97047-099-5. That's what we've seen on all of the documents. On all of the felony documents. That's the number that's on the finding of probable cause to detain. That's the number that's on the affidavit and order of insolvency. That's the number that's on my Edwards notice or invocation of constitutional rights. That's the number that's on the setting of, on the motion to set bond. And please notice what's missing. Why is the next page blank? Because that's supposed to be the bond. Taggart wasn't about to put his document in there. That's a felony. You're looking at a felony. That's what's supposed to be in next, was the setting of the bond. This is just a motion to set bond. But again, all they're dealing with is this number. That's it. That's all we're doing with. So again, Charlie says, hey, here's all we got to do. All we got to do is rewrite this felony and make it a 1-count misdemeanor. That's all we've got to do. Because remember, folks, you all may have wondered how in the world, why is D. Squires on here, and why is he also the one who scanned in the on the 8th, or I don't know when he scanned in. It was probably the next day. He probably scanned it in on the 9th. Why was he the one that scanned it in when it happened 4 days or 5 days later, after being in 6 days, or 4 days, 4 or 5 days after everything else was filed? Well, that's simple, because all of these documents are literally in a file. They're in a folder, and D. Squires, he or she, is the one who is managing or overseeing for the clerk of the court the filing of this particular file. So all of these documents are sitting. Not only have they been entered into the computer, they're sitting at the clerk's of the court office until there is an outcome for this supposed arrest. Because again, they entered into the belly of the beast 97047-099-5 as soon as they found probable cause to detain. Right there. That's when the case file started. Okay? So, Coffer says, Charlie in charge, says, I know, let's just rewrite this number. Because remember, folks, again, the circuit clerk of the court's office and the county clerk of the court's office do not communicate with each other, which is how they can get away with it. They're on 2 separate floors. They're 2 separate courts. Okay? So all they have to do is the state attorney's office just has to walk into the clerk of the court's office and go up to tell Mr. D. Squires, sir, we need case number 9747099-5. That's all we have to do. That's all they have to do. And of course, hello, it's the state attorney's office. All I am is a little clerk. There you go, sir, ma'am, whoever did it. There you go. Now, they've got, and then they take it, and they fully intend on destroying it. But the first thing that they have to do is they have to make sure that I'm out of the way. Because because remember, I'm still out on bond. Okay? I am still out on bond. All of my family members know that I'm going to show up to this court date. Hello, this bonding company is supposed to make sure that I show up in court. Okay, so first things first, we got to come up with a plan. What we're going to do. Here's the plan. The plan is we're going to rewrite this arrest and booking report. And we are going to, because these numbers have already been inserted into the belly of the beast. Who controls the information? The state attorney's office controls all the information. What they're saying is, oh, this never happened. Let's pull out our little magic wand. This never happened. Okay, so we never found, this judge never found probable cause to detain, and he was never ordered insolvency. What do you think TCC means? That means transfer to county court. You can't transfer, you would never transfer this to county court. You would never transfer a felony. There is no way that this, if these charges were true, if it really was a lewd lascivious act upon a minor and someone actually did solicit a minor to prostitute themselves, then there is absolutely no way that it would be lowered to a misdemeanor. No way. They're too heinous of crimes. So again, what they're going to say is, oh, this never happened. Okay? He was never ordered insolvency, and he never invoked his constitutional rights. He may have invoked his constitutional rights on this felony one, but he didn't do for no misdemeanor one. And you know what? Hello. If we just rewrite this arrest and booking report, the problem is this arrest and booking report, which is why it's still hiding at the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. Okay? So, if we rewrite everything, then all it is we just went in, we got it. So Taggart's off the hook, so they believe. Okay? And, hello, bond company, what you're going to do is you're never going to contact this guy again. You're never going to contact this guy again. Because, again, they already know I'm not a criminal. I've got no idea what is supposed to happen. I've never bonded out. I've never had to deal with a bonding. I'm a preacher. I go to jails to preach. I don't get, and yes, I have been arrested, but for driving on a suspended license, and my license was suspended for non-payment of non-moving violation tickets. I am not a criminal. I am trusting. I am trusting the law because I have a relationship with the Creator of the universe who established. It's His law. It's Almighty God's law. And I'm trusting that everything that's going on is going on according to how it's supposed to go on. So I'm just waiting for my day in court. So what we're going to do is, and here is the first guy. The first guy, I'm going to scroll right down here. Please notice historical criminal fee. I don't know. Those were court costs. He had $200 worth of court costs imposed on him. How much did he pay? None. What's the balance? $200. Then why in the world was this case disposed? I'm going to tell you what happened. Okay, and again, we're in Roberto's court. Okay? This guy said, fine, I'm just going to, okay, fine, I'm going to plead no contest. And then he is ordered, at his first appearance, he's ordered to, he has no defense, he has no attorney, he hasn't asked for representation, he's just going to plead out right then and there. And then the judge, Roberto, is going to withhold the adjudication of guilt, pending the outcome of two things. One, he's placed on probation at the Salvation Army, meaning he's going to have to go down to the Salvation Army and work. Then what he's also going to have to do, he's going to have to pay the court costs. This is the $200. There's $50 there, $50 there, and then $100 there. Okay? And then one of the conditions is he has to go take an HIV test, and he's got to pay for the cost of it. And he's got to do all of that within 90 days. So within 90 days, he's got to report to the Salvation Army and start working for free. Okay? Then he's got to pay these $200 worth of court costs. You know, that's the $200 that's listed up here, and that's why they have it listed as historical criminal fee. You'll understand in a second why. And then he's got to go out and get a HIV an HIV test. Okay? And he has to do that all within 90 days. Okay? That's when he was ordered to start showing up for probation. He tells them, kiss my hairy white gluteus maximus. Because on 3/2/1998, Acapius is ordered and issued for a violation of probation, and his bond is set at $2,503. Why? He never showed up to the Salvation Army, and he didn't get an AIDS test. Why? Because he didn't do anything wrong, and he knows it. He just told them exactly what these fools wanted to hear, and then he beat feet. He said, you know what, fine, come find me. Come arrest me again. Come arrest me again. So then, 1998, 3/2, 90 days. 12/3 to 3/2 is 90 days. Oh, he didn't do it. Put out the capias. Receipt for the capias was received on 4/10/1998. Control number, and then all of a sudden, what is that? 6 years later, capias recalled per administrative order. On the same day, 9/4/2004, the case is dismissed. The very same day, case file is destroyed. Why? Because, okay, he didn't do this. He's not guilty. And if they pull him into court, what's going to happen? They're all going to go to prison. This is the first guy that they did this to. You're looking right at it. You're looking right at it. He didn't fight nothing. They decide. Case recalled per administrative order. What was the order? Excuse me. Hold on, fellas. We already. No. We can't. No. We already screwed over Mr. Nelson, because that's what they're getting ready to do. So the last thing that we want is Mr. Nelson, because you'll understand I have no idea that they did what they did. The last thing we want to do is reopen is not only Mr. Nelson now. Now his whole family. We do not want to be outed, because we've told his whole family that he's a sexual deviant, and now this guy can come in. Oh, this guy now can come in. We don't want to find him. Just disappear. We forgot about you. It never happened. So they destroy all of the evidence. That's felony. Back in 2004. No reason given. And remember, folks, everything that I'm telling you, the chief judge and the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office has known has had this information. I'm telling you exactly what I told them. I'm showing you exactly what I showed them. And they've known this since for 2 years, 4 months, and 12 days as of 12/3/2017. Okay? So, I just wanted to point that out to you. So, this case file has not been made yet. This is my case file, the misdemeanor case file. And what you're going to see is the misdemeanor case file was made first, because they rewrite the arrest and booking report. Why are they doing that? Okay, for that, this is the 67-year-old man. Okay, he pled not guilty. He fought it and everything, and he got sold up the river or down the river, however you want to say it, by his private attorney. This criminal right here, because again, he didn't do anything wrong. They had no evidence, and so what did they do? Well, they got him. He got a private attorney because everybody's convinced, hey, man, we need a private attorney. You need an attorney to get things done. No, you don't need no daggum attorney. You can speak for yourself. Thank you very much. The laws are not that complicated. As soon as this man gave up his rights, he gave R. Schaefer, this criminal, the right to defend him. Then what did R. Schaefer do? R. Schaefer sent him down the river. We're going to go through we're going to respond to demand and demand for reciprocal discovery. We want to see what evidence you got. There is no evidence, so says the arresting document. So then what does he do, R. Schaefer? Well, because he wants to keep in the good graces, he wants to keep getting paid money from people to do something that doesn't need to be done, his defendants. It's a scam. Okay? Taxpayers are paying for people for this garbage because people are trying to have sex. They're outside of wedlock. They're criminals. Right there, defendant not present. That means R. Schaefer pled no contest. When we already know what the defendant's original aspect was, his original plea was not guilty. Okay, so we got the 67-year-old guy out the way. So, and now what we're going to have to do is, and again, it happens over time. This guy, they've already had before the courts. They don't find out that this guy violated his probation until well after my stuff is taken care of. Because they didn't order the capias until 3/2. Okay? Got it? So, all of their crimes are still, they're not doing a very good job of covering up their crimes because, well, they're criminals. They're stupid. Just tell the truth. And they're creating such a huge paper trail, it's not funny. Okay, and then this guy Schaefer did not enter in the no contest plea until 1/21/1998. Okay, again, they're still. You'll see. You will see. Okay? So, what is their plans? Okay? If you don't fight it, these are the two roommates. Okay? These are the two roommates. And what they did is they're convinced that they've committed a crime. That's the reason why the police have arrested him. The state attorney's office is telling them they committed a crime. The judge, and the same judge, Roberto, okay? The same judge is telling them, hello, you've committed a crime. So, and when you plead no contest, because that's what they pled, both of them pled no contest, okay? No contest. And this is done all on the 5th, at on their first appearance, because that's what you can do. You can either plead guilty, not guilty, or no contest. No contest means I'm not admitting that I did it, And I'm not trying to defend that I didn't do it. I'm throwing myself on the mercy of the court. Okay? And adjudication withheld means you're found guilty, but they're not going to apply it, because what they're going to do is the judge can either just say, okay, you're going to pay some court costs, get out of here, or they can order you to take an AIDS test. And that's exactly what they did with both of them. Okay? Right here, arrest and booking report, plea of nolo contendere, bond set for ROR, that means release on own recognizance, and then the sentencing date is when? 1/6/1998. Same with this guy. Sentencing date right there. 1/6/1998. Where have we seen that before? Oh, that's right. This was supposedly an arraignment date. And this is happening at J1. Where did these take place? Courtroom 23. Where in the world did this take place? Courtroom 23. Okay? So, but why did they push it up to 1/6? And again, there's the date that it took place, 12/5, the first appearance. Because you got to take the AIDS test. Got to take an AIDS test. And there, 1/6/1998, defendant present. You don't see me listed as being present for anything on my case, on the misdemeanor case file, because I wasn't there. And there, he paid all of the fees and everything. Same thing with this dude. 12, sentencing 1/6 with AIDS test. He's got to pay for it. They got to pay for it. Why 1/6? It takes about 30 days. It takes about 30 days for the test results to come back. Okay? And then 1/6 shows up and defendant present. Adjudication of guilt withheld. And now you got to pay $150 in court costs. That's what this guy had to pay. And this guy had to pay the same, $150 in court costs. And there he goes. He paid it as well. So what that means is they just realized, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to rewrite this into a one count misdemeanor arrest and booking report. And then we're going to insert it. We're going to go over to the felony department. We're going to go over to the felony, and we're going to the circuit clerk of the court. We're going to find the clerk that's got Mr. Nelson's case file, and we're going to tell him we need it, because this is all evidence of all of our crimes. Then we're going to reinsert, because remember, the clerk of the court's on the hook too. They're on the hook. They are supposed to stop. They're supposed to know. The supervisor is supposed to know the same statutes. That's why they're a supervisor. Their job is to certify and make sure that everything is done right. It's not D. Squire's job to know that. He or she is just a desk worker. It's their supervisor. The state attorney's office is supposed to know this. So they are on the hook as well, because they are allowing this to happen. They're not doing their job. So we got this case file, and now we're going to bring it over, and where's it going to sit? I'm going to tell you where it's going to sit. It's going to sit in Bram Scharf's desk. December 15th. Okay? Here's what I want you to notice. Okay, Okay. We're going to zoom in on that little spot right there. Okay? See that? I'm a page down now. Those are those are staple holes where these two pages have been stapled together. We got a little problem with that. And here's a little problem with that. Okay? The problem with that is this document was written on December 15th. It is in the it's in the felon case file. Okay? It's supposed to be. It's in the felony department. This document was written January 5th, 1998. They would never, ever, there is no reason for these documents to have ever been stapled together. The only way that they could be stapled together, as you can clearly see that they were, is if they were both written on at the same time and held. Because this is, again, this is transferring everything over to the county court. This is what this is supposed to be doing. Okay? So, they just because it says, they've already been lying to you. What's another lie? Just because it says it was done on January 5th, 1998 doesn't mean that there is no stamps. It was filed that day because that was the day that it was created. Personally, I think that all of this was created. You can change. They control the information. They can put whatever date they want to on it. But now, if you notice here, arrest charge, attempted lewd lascivious, filed charge, none. Now you understand, meaning what they're saying is we never pressed any charges. We never, none of this happened. None of this happened, my friends. It never happened. It never happened because we waved our magic little wand. Okay? Is what they're trying to say. And now you understand why the state attorney's office copy of the arrest and booking report is in the clerk of the court's clerk file with 110C. Uh-oh, you all forgot about that, didn't you? You all forgot about that. Don't worry, we're going to come back. So now all the pieces are in place. They're going to rewrite it. They're going to rewrite it into a one count solicitation of prostitution charge, and they've got 30 days rather, 30 days to do it, because these guys, after this happened on the 5th, okay? This happened after they found out. These two guys' cases happened on the 5th after they found out that everything that they've done is committed a crime. So now Roberto's just being a good little soldier and telling these guys, okay, we're going to extend this out, give us a chance to make up for all of give us a chance to cover up all of our criminal acts. Then we're going to rewrite Mr. Nelson's arrest and booking report, make it look like that he just pled no contest on 1/4/1997, on 12/4/1997, and then was ordered to take the AIDS test, and then we're just going to slip it in on a sentencing date. Meaning, this is not an arraignment date. This is not an arraignment date. This is a sentencing date, and I can prove that to you with the statutes. Okay? All right? Did that make sense? Are you up to speed? Just to give you further clarity, the two roommates were not arrested until when? This is the first guy, 23:30. That's 11:30. They were both arrested at 23:30. Okay? The first guy wasn't done being booked. He wasn't even admitted. They were admitted at 12:18 into the jail. That's when they first got shook down at the jail. That's when they arrived at the jail, 12:18. Okay? They weren't finished being booked. This guy, the first guy, wasn't finished being booked until 4:46 in the morning. And this guy was finished being booked 4 minutes later at 4:50 in the morning. What does that mean? That means that they would have been in the afternoon session of the 5th. When did I meet with my public note offender? What time of day was it on the 5th that I met with my public note offender? LaFonda Gibson. Shortly after 9 o'clock in the morning. Okay? That's when they found out that, hello, we got a problem. So they instantly contacted Roberto to tell him, okay, we got 2 more coming down the pipe. Okay, he already had, the 67-year-old man was arrested before midnight. He was booked before midnight. So they've already had the 67, rather he's 67. The 67-year-old man, this guy, was arrested. He's already been in the morning session. Okay? He's already been in the morning session. So there's nothing that we can do about this because he's fighting it. Okay? So now they got to deal, they've got to do something to drag it out. Because, well, hello, we got this guy who hasn't done anything, and he knows it, which is why he's pleading not guilty. Then you got me, who's just been told by the public note offender that I did nothing wrong. They can't do that. Remember, that's what LaFonda Gibson told me. Because with me, we're dealing with this. Okay? LaFonda Gibson told me, they can't do that, they can't do that, and she ran out of there. Okay? So it's now the morning of the 5th, and they now know that they have 3 documented cases of people coming in. You've got this guy, 3 documented cases of the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office kidnapping, not only the Jacksonville Vice, the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office, the State Attorney's Office, and now Roberto, this judge, falsely detaining and imprisoning, kidnapping, torturing, tormenting, and now holding for ransom 3 different people. The first guy on the 2nd, myself, and now the 67-year-old man. Okay? And they couldn't, I'm fighting it, as well as or I should show I'm fighting it. There's no way in the world I know I didn't do this. And now they know that the 67-year-old man from Tallahassee is fighting it, because he's just pled not guilty. So now what they got to do is they got to do something to drag this out until we can come up with a solution of how in the world do we make this go away, and how in the world do we make this go away, because these 2 guys aren't admitting anything. They're like, no, not guilty. Again, this is the 67-year-old man. He said not guilty. You don't pay money to hire a private defense attorney who's supposed to be one of the best. They are useless creatures. They don't care about anything but the almighty dollar. Okay? Just tell the truth. You don't hire a private attorney just to turn around and plead no contest. Again, no evidence. And don't worry, I will show you the rest in the booking report. So now they got a problem. Now what do they have? Now they have these two guys. They got to do something to make this prolonged. They got these two guys coming in the afternoon session. So they just found out the morning of the 5th that the 67-year-old guy knows he didn't do anything wrong and he's fighting it. They also know that I'm fighting it. I told him I didn't do anything wrong. So now they got to do something to try to figure out what in the world to do with both of us. So what do? At the first appearance, it's going to be the afternoon appearance. At the afternoon appearance, that's when they come in and they plead no contest and they says, okay, we got to make this stretch out. So, because remember, they control the information, folks. Okay? They can insert information whenever they want to. So we're gonna make these guys pay. We're gonna let them go on their own recognizance, okay? But we're gonna make them take we're gonna buy some time. We're gonna make them pay for it for an AIDS test that we know that they don't need to take, just to cover our butts. And Roberto is more than willing to do it because he's already sent the first guy. He's already had the very first guy before his court. This guy's not a judge. He does not know the law. He's a criminal. The blood of cherished periwinkle is on your hands, Roberto. Plain and simple. Okay? So, which of course is why this case was disposed and why the case file was destroyed. Again, all felonies. All felonies. Okay? So now here comes the opportunity for them to extend, buy some time, give us some time to figure out what in the world's going on, is what we're going to do, and that's all that they're doing. So they come in, they plead no contest, and then to extend it. Okay? You got it? And they found all of this out on the 5th. All of this is happening the morning of the 5th. When is this filed? 12/5. When did I meet with my public no defender? 12/5. When did the morning of 12/5? When did the 67-year-old man go before have his? He was 12/5. File date 12/5. Morning session. Now these guys are coming along in the afternoon session, so we just got to extend it till we can figure out how in the world we make this disappear, and how in the world we make not this, because this wasn't even created yet. How in the world we make this disappear, because we are too pretty for prison. We don't care whatever happens to everybody else. We just want to keep our neck safe. We're the law. We're the ones with the law degrees. Now, what I want to do, too, is I want to come back to this more proof that this was written prior, while this paperwork was written prior, it was done before December 15th. Okay? Okay? Here's why. The above is out on bond posted by A. Bail Bonds of Florida, 331 East Bay Street, Jacksonville, Florida, 32202. Y'all didn't see that, did you? And this is the setup. This is where they're setting the stage. I can't give you an exact time frame as to when it was written, but it was confirmed that they could go away on with it on December 15th, is when it was confirmed. Because December 15th is the date that Bram Scharf acted falsely as a state attorney and lied to me at J1. And December 15th is the date that Charlie in charge impersonated a judge. And it all happened, they're not lying, it happened right there at J1. J1 is the court at the jail. Okay? But funny how the misdemeanor case file says that, as well as the felony case file for that matter, says that the bond company was Bruce Weaver Bail Bonds, and over here it says that I am. Can y'all see that? Let me highlight it and zoom in. Out on bond. The above is out on bond, posted by A. Bail Bonds of Florida, 331 East Bay Street. They're just getting ready to getting the documents ready they're going to have a arraignment on paper. They're going to have an arraignment. They're going to have a first appearance on paper. They are making it look like this is never, ever, ever supposed to be seen. Ever. This is done for show for the people over at the county clerk of the court's office, because again, no filing stamps, because it was never filed. Okay, and this was filed after the fact. Notice it's not D. Squires, it's now a different clerk. It should be D. Squires, because D. Squires was the one who was handling my case file. Why is it a different? There's your criminal. There's another criminal. I told you folks, there's over 100 of them. They just keep popping up. They're like cockroaches. Okay? So, this was all done for show. That's all that this was done for. That's why it's signed, and the stuff in the misdemeanor case file is not signed. They never intended for this to be filed. They were forced to. And you will understand that by the end of this video. Okay? You will understand that by the end of this video. Why in the world are they having an arraignment date at the courthouse, at the courtroom down at the jail? Why are they not when homeboy, the 67-year-old man, where is he at? Passed for pretrial. That's an arraignment date. Courtroom 23. Courtroom 23. They're at the courthouse. J1 is for first appearances. That's all J1 is there for. First appearances, and to handle other stuff, so people don't have to go down to the main courthouse, as you will clearly see. All right? They don't hold arraignments at J1, nor do they hold sentencing hearings at J1. Okay? Period. Period. So anyway, it's not the norm. Okay? So funny how this says that I'm out on bail bond. Here they name me. And again, it has to name, this is for show for the misdemeanor people. Why? Well, because the bond is, they're going to have to look at the bond Why do you think the bond is sitting over in the misdemeanor case file? Because they took the whole case file over. Where's it at? Where's the case file? Give me a second. Here we go. Okay. They took the entire case file over. And this is what I wanted to show you. Okay. See the D. Squires stamp right there? Watch the next page. Okay. Watch the next page. There it is, D. Squires. It bled through, just like the other stamp on the, you see that? That's all in reverse. D, you see the D, Squires. D. Squire, I have no, this is the back of the bond. They just need to put documents into this thing because, hello, what they were forced to make it, people. They were forced to make it. That is the back of this. So they can't have this sitting in the felony case file. So they moved it all over, and the way that they justified to move it all over is that Bram and the other criminal, Terrence Martin, the blood of Cherish Periwinkle's on your hands, son. You're a scumbag, Terrence Martin. This is them moving out all the evidence. They are tampering with evidence. They are destroying evidence. Because that's the reason why they put it in the misdemeanor case file. They never intend to file it. But, hello, the clerks don't know this. They've got to see something. They got to have something because, again, all they're going to do is insert. They're going to rewrite this thing and create a one-count arrest and booking report that's going to look just like these guys. One count. See, he's number 61. Roommate was number 62. Okay? That's all it's going to say is soliciting for prostitution, as well as soliciting for prostitution. One count. Don't worry, I can prove that because I got the search records. Okay? And then they're going to insert, and that's going to be on top. The rewritten fake arrest and booking report is going to be on top of all of this. All of this is in a case file now, and they're going to do, and what they're going to do is their plan is to bring it over, they're going to file off the books. They're going to have their own little court date, just like these guys, just like this. Okay, and then they're going to set a sentencing date. Okay, just like this, and then Bram is going to take all of the. Bram is going to take. Where's it at? Bram is going to take all of this, all of the proof. Okay, all of the proof, all of the evidence of their crimes, including the bond, because that's going to get them off the hook. He's going to take it all back, and he's going to sit it in his desk, and he's going to wait for 1/6 to show up. Okay? That's what he intends to do. But that's not what happened. That's not what happened. Because then when 1/6 happens, what they're going to do, they're going to bring it to the courtroom of it was probably supposed to be Roberto. It's probably who it was supposed to be. Roberto. But for whatever reason, judges aren't supermen. They're not Supergirl. They get sick. Somebody got sick. Somebody decided, I don't know, maybe Roberto got scared and decided that, no, I'm not going to, no, I'm already on the hook enough. No, I'm not going to do that. So what ended up happening is Mallory D. Cooper filled in for somebody. Somehow or another, Mallory D. Cooper. And when you have an estate attorney, when you have a state attorney is assigned to a judge, and they follow that judge around. So, if the judge doesn't show up, then the fake and fraudulent counterfeit state attorney doesn't show up. The real judge shows up, and a real state attorney's officer shows up. And even if they are crooked, they're not going to lie to an honest judge, to Mallory D. Cooper. So they ended up having to file it. But I'm gonna get ahead of myself. I'm getting ahead of myself. What we're gonna do now is I'm gonna show you exactly how they made sure that, where's it at? That I was taken out. That how I was removed. How they were going to make sure that, where's the bond? Here we go. They were going to make sure that this is resolved, that this bonding company, they've already been told, do not contact them, because you're on the hook now. This is just another Jacksonville Sheriff's officer right there. You see the badge number. This is just another attorney. It says right there, attorney in fact for the surety. This is a bonding company, is nothing but an insurance company. Continental Heritage Insurance Company is the parent company of Bail Bonds of Florida Incorporated. Okay? That's who's backing them. That's where they're getting the money from. They're getting the money from Continental Heritage Insurance Company. Okay? Got it? So you got a lot of people online, and CJ, I think her name is, C.E. Parrish, okay, in Bushnell, Florida. She's on the hook. So is whoever it is that's running this office of the Continental Bail Bonds of Florida. Okay? They're all on the hook. They're all looking at prison time because they evidently do not know what in the world the statutes mean. They don't know what in the world they're doing. So, fine, we'll play along. We'll be quiet to keep me out of jail. Oh, see this woman right here? I talked to her on the phone. What do you hear about that? Oh, goodness gracious. Well, anyway. So, how in the world do they make sure that I show up on December 15th? Well, this is how. Remember, I had bonded out at about, I don't know, 11 o'clock. I was probably home 11 o'clock, between 11 and midnight. Okay? And everybody is now convinced. I can't say anything. Okay? I can't say anything. But their problem is that I bonded out. Okay? It is December, it's Monday, December 8th. Getting ready to be Tuesday, December the 9th. And what did I tell everybody? I said, hey, thanks for doing all this, but hello, I've got to get back to my life. I got to get up. I've got work to do. I'm already 3 days behind because I have to catch up on Thursday's work, Friday's work, today's work, as well as start up the rest of this week. So I'm going to bed, guys. Thank you so much. So that's what happens because I can't say anything. So they all leave. And I go to bed. And the next morning, me and Charlie wake up. Still got this on my mind, but I'm thankful for a few things. One, I'm back. I'm free. I'm with my buddy, Charlie, and I'm working. I've got something to do other than worry about all of this mess. It's a distraction. Okay? I'll deal with the 18th when the 18th comes. I'm just sitting back, waiting for my public no defender, who I have been ordered, who I've already met with, LaFonda Gibson, to get back in touch with me. I'm waiting for them. I've done everything I can do. I'm just waiting for them because, again, remember, I'm a Christian. I am trusting the law because I have a relationship with the one, the creator of the universe, who established the law. It's his law. And I'm dealing with, I'm believing, ministers of Almighty God. I'm confused. I'm confused, but hello. 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 20. I've been purchased with a price. If this is the road I got to go down, then this is the road I got to go down. So me and Charlie go to work. It's a distraction. Thank you, Jesus, for the distraction. So we're going to work. I'm not even thinking about this. And again, because I'm 3 days behind, I've got to hump it and catch back up. So that's what I do. So it's a long day. That Tuesday is a long day. Now, when I get back to the house, already on the table when I got home the night of the 8th, there was already all kind of letters from these lawyers. They're scum of the earth people. You know, hey, we can get you off. Come pay us, and we'll get you off. I don't need no lawyer. I already got a public no defender, so I'm not worried about it. Let's just wait to see what happens on the 18th. So we come home, and again, it's late, and pull in the driveway, and my mailbox was outside the fence. The property that I was buying was about 1/4 of an acre in size. Okay, so it was a pretty big piece of property. So I get out me and Charlie get out the van. We're tired, but it's a good tired because, again, I'd rather be tired than cooped up in a cell with actual felons. And I walk to the mailbox, and this is Tuesday. This happened either Tuesday or Wednesday. I'm seriously believe it happened on Tuesday. There's a letter waiting for me in the mailbox the day after I bonded out. And who do you think that letter's from? Not from a attorney, not from a private attorney, not from who was the letter from? This little guy right there, who, I have not yet said this, is also a brand new state attorney. He's trying to get some brownie points. He's just starting off his, he just ended it. He's ending it right now because he's committing multiple felonies. He's committing simulated legal process. And the letter's from Bram Scharf. So I'm like, oh, great. So I go in the house and I open it up, and folks, I can't believe what it says. I can't believe what it says. It says, Mr. Nelson, we do not want you to incur the cost. There is no need for you to incur the cost of retaining counsel, as all charges have been dropped. However, because you are out on bond, you will need to show up at J1. Where's it at? You will need to show up at J1. When? Monday, December 15th. So that we can put this issue to rest. Now, to say that I was not excited is putting it mildly. I was ecstatic. And because it was such good news, I didn't even realize that the letter came. I had only been out of jail for less than 24 hours. A little, maybe 16 hours. I got home between 11 and midnight, and now here it is. I don't know. It's late in the evening, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. So I just completely overlooked the fact that the letter came the next day. This happened. I really truly believe it happened on a Tuesday, because I remember thinking, "Geez, Pete's, why didn't they do this yesterday? They could have saved me $2,500." So again, what do I hear? I hear Miss LaFonda Gibson telling me over and over and over again, "They can't do that, they can't do that, they can't do that. Let me see what I can do." And I think what's going through my mind is, well, since I bonded out, they realize that I'm serious about this, so they're like, "Oh, we forgot about you." I don't know. I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. Okay, so I don't need to retain counsel. Well, I already knew that. I wasn't looking for counsel, but the simple fact that they said that tells you that they were scared. They're trying to contain this. So this is how they're going to eliminate me. Because they know exactly what I'm going to do. Remember, they already know I'm not a criminal. I don't know anything about anything. I don't know that the bond company is supposed to be the one contacting me. The state attorney's office is not going to contact me. The state attorney, because it's the bond company that's on the hook for making sure that I show up for this date. I don't know that, because I'm not a criminal. I didn't know that then in 1997. I know that now. Any changes to the court date, they contact the bond agent, and they make sure that I show up. Again, they never contacted me. I never set foot in that place again. I am trusting the ministers, the supposed ministers of God. So it's because of this, so said the letter, so said Bram in his letter. It's because I'm out on bond that I have to go in and finalize everything. Sign some papers. Okay? And when does he tell me to do it? December 15th. That's a Monday. That's a Monday. So I'm excited. No phone number to give, but I knew it was on, the letter was on the state attorney's office letterhead. It came in the state attorney's office envelope. I still don't even know. I can't remember if there was a stamp on it or I don't know if it was metered mail or what have you. I don't care, because the news was fabulous. What I don't understand, what I am not realizing, is that they are taking me out of the equation so that they can so that they can rewrite the arrest and booking report. I don't care. I'm excited. So I called up my landlords right off the bat, and I told them. In fact, I said, look, I got to come down. I got some really good news. Because again, I feel like I'm vindicated. They're dropping all the charges. So that's what I do. I called up my landlord and I said, look, I got to come down. Are y'all there? Yep, we're here. All right, I'll be right down. I got some really good news. Me and Charlie drove down, and I showed him the letter. And again, they're not criminals. They don't deal with court cases and everything. They don't know anything. They're just like, oh, that's fantastic. But you know what? Still doesn't change the fact that this happened. This is still planted in their mind. Now, about right now, just to show you how I'm trusting everybody, I'm not looking to, then why did y'all arrest me? Y'all going to have to explain to me what's what. I'm going to sue you. I'm not saying that. I don't care. Because what I said, Lord, I'm like, thank you, Jesus. This is over and done with. All I got to do is wait for Monday. And I can do that. I can do that. So what am I going to do? I'm going to beat feet Monday, the rest of the week. I don't care if I got to work Saturday. I'm going to make sure that there's nothing going to prevent me from showing up down at J1 on Monday. Okay? Just so you get just to give you a visual. Okay? I hope you all can see that. I can't move it over. So we're going to go to 1997. We're going to go to December. Okay? I bonded out on Monday. I got the letter on the 9th. And remember what the letter said. Mr. Nelson, there is no need for you to retain counsel. They were afraid that I was out of their control because I had bonded out. They wanted to get this information to me. What did they probably do? They probably drove by my house knowing that I wasn't going to be there and stuck that letter, waited for the mailman to pass, and just stuck that letter in my mailbox. Give me the good news the day after bonding out. Again, I don't know. I don't know when that letter was sent. I don't know when they made that decision. Maybe I bonded out of jail for nothing, had I just trusted my public defender. But they never got back in touch with me. Nobody told me anything. Okay, fine. Doesn't matter. I don't care. They just told me that all the charges were dropped. When does it tell me to show up? On Monday. The 15th. December 15th. Does that not look familiar? Okay. So I bust butt and I go and I do all my work, and it was sometime late morning, early afternoon that they told me to show up. So I don't care. I'm just going to show up. I don't know what's going on. I've never been to court before for anything, civil or criminal. So I just show up, and sure enough, there's a whole bunch of other people there. So I'm like, well, they're probably here just to clean up, straighten up something or finalize something just like me. I'm at J1, and that's what J1 is used for. So people don't have to go down to the courthouse. They can just park right there in the parking lot of the police station and just finalize things. And it's also used for first appearances. Okay? So we're all there. We're all outside. And it's the court, for those of you who have never been to court before, it's not like the church. The doors aren't just open. You have to wait until they open up the doors. They open up. They have court when they are ready. You just have to stand outside and wait. So that's what we're all doing. We're just standing outside waiting. But I'm to make sure I get there early. So we're all standing out, and I'm not talking to anybody. I just want this. I'm just happy as a lark that this is over and done with. Because remember, they said there's no need for me to retain counsel. I don't need counsel because all charges are dropped. That's what the letter said. So I'm just standing there, watching, looking, and to be honest with you, the people are talking, but they're talking amongst their own individual little groups. You know, you got little couples and 2 or 3 people together, and nobody's really talking to anybody else because, well, hello, it's court. Okay? So then all of a sudden, the door opens, and it's a clerk or a bailiff. And this is what the bailiff says, or the clerk. Is Kerry Nelson here? And I'm like, whoa, this is odd. And I'm like, okay, maybe it's something special. They didn't say what I had to do. Maybe they're going to call me in and we're going to solve this inside in an office somewhere. They just told me to be down at J1. I said, yep, that's me. That's me. I'm Kerry Nelson. He says, great. Okay, everybody, let's come on in. I'm like, wow, that was odd. So I start walking towards the door, and as I get to the door, I'm about to walk in, and the same bailiff or clerk says, hey, hold on, let's let everybody else go in first. I'm like, okay, sure, I can do that. So I'm the last one going in the room, going into the courtroom. So everybody walks in front, and he says, all right, come on, let's go. And then we walk right in the door, and he says, well, hey, look, sit right back here. You heard me. You heard me what I said. You heard what I said. He says, stay right here. Sit down right here. I'm in the very back of the courtroom. Last row. They put me in the back of the bus. Everybody else is down front. Now, there is no galley. It's just the only people that are in that court room is everybody that was sitting outside. Okay, and on the bench is a judge already sitting. You've got the stenographer. You've got a few attorneys or public defenders or whatever on the right side of the courtroom as you're looking at the judge, and then the state attorney on the left side, and then a bailiff and a sheriff's deputy. Okay, and everybody else is everybody else is down front, up close to the judge. Okay, so there's no all rise and anything like that. I'm like, okay. So he says, just wait right here, and they'll call you when they're ready for you. I said, okay. So one by one, they all go up to the judge. I can't hear what's going on. They don't have the microphone on. I don't want to hear. All right? I don't want to hear. But I'm in the back of the courtroom. Why am I so far back? I can't see the name of the judge that's up there. All I can see, I can't get I can see it's a male. I can see that he's. I can't give a detailed description of what he looks like because I'm in the back of the courtroom. So they all go up, and one by one, they're only up there for like 30 seconds, and they all start walking back. All start walking back past me. And every single one that passed me, they're like, what are you doing back here, man? I said, I don't know, man. They told me to sit here and wait. So, dang, man. That's wrong. So, it's confusing to them. I don't know. I've never been in court before. So one by one, bop, 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 they're all done. It only takes them about 30 seconds each, maybe a minute per group of people that's going up. And then all of a sudden, the last one walks past me, and it's just me left, sitting in the back of the courtroom. And then when the last person walks out the courtroom, then the judge, everybody acts like it's quitting time. The stenographer stops typing. He starts stretching out his legs. The public defenders or the attorneys, they just start chit-chatting and everything, and the judge is joking with the bailiff and everybody, and the state attorneys are all just acting like, hey, hello, work is over and done with. I'm like, hello, I'm sitting here, it's me. Hello, did y'all forget about me? The bailiff told me, or the dude told me that you all were going to call me. Y'all forgot about me. And then all of a sudden, right on cue, the judge just says, okay, let's go. Everybody all at once got up and exit stage right. You heard me. The judge gets up off the bench. The attorneys, the state attorneys, the stenographer picks up his little stenographer machine, and they all walk out the same door that the prisoners would walk out, like they're going into the next courtroom next door. And I'm like, well, excuse me, hello, they all forgot about me. So I start to stand up, and as soon as I start to stand up, enter stage left, Bram Scharf, followed in tow by Mr. Charlie G. in charge Coffer, wearing a black robe. Now, you got 4 people, maybe 5 people in the courtroom. You've got Bram Scharf. Okay, you've got Bram Scharf takes up his spot on the left side of the courtroom in the state attorney's office spot. You've got Charlie in charge Coffer wearing a black robe, sitting up on the bench. You've got one Jacksonville sheriff's officer, and I think one other person in there, and me. And I'm like, well, let me sit back down. Again, I don't know what in the world's going on. I don't know that. They don't. This is not the relief judge. Okay? This is not the relief judge. This is Charles G. Coffer doing whatever he's got to do to get in good graces with the nomination committee from the First Circuit Judicial Nominating Commission, so that because he wants to become a judge. Because he's a control freak. Charlie Coffer just stopped being an attorney. Because remember, he's working in 1997, December 15th, Monday, December 15th, 1997, he was an assistant at the Public No Defender's Office. So says this article. He wasn't appointed to the bench until July 14th, 1998. So, Charlie's sitting up on the bench thinking like he's Mr. Bigwig. And all of a sudden, he doesn't even call my name. He just sticks out his hand like a kindergarten teacher calls up a bad student or a rowdy student to the desk, and all just come here, come on up, and he's acting like he's pissed off at the world. So I walk up. I'm like, okay, well, they tell me that all the charges were dropped. So I walk up, and Bram won't even look at me. Bram's got his head down. He's a little short little dude. He's got his head down. He's looking in the papers. He won't even make eye contact with me. He's shaking like a leaf. I'm like, man, what in the world's this? What in the world's going on? And Coffer Charlie calls over to Bram and says, what is the state's intentions on count 1? I'm like, excuse me? Hold on a second. Y'all told me all charges were dropped. What do you mean, what are the state's intentions? Bram answers, the state is choosing not to press charges at this time. Coffer looks down at it and just acts more pissed off, like he's pissed. Mr. State Attorney, what is the state intentions for count 2? I'm like, count 2? Y'all told me all charges were dropped. Hold on, nobody said y'all said I didn't need an attorney. But again, I don't say nothing. I don't want to screw anything up. I don't know what's going on. And what is it, what Little Bram says, the state is choosing not to press charges at this time. Then Charlie shakes his head and is you can tell he's doing a wonderful acting job. Charlie, you missed your calling. You should have been an actor. Oh, never mind. You've been playing like you're an attorney, pretending like you're a judge since July 14th, 1998. I digress. So then Charlie looks at me and says, again, this is what he says to me. Mr. Nelson, and he's holding this in his hand. Mr. Nelson, because the state is choosing not to press charges at this time, I cannot order you to seek counsel for your attraction to young girls. Oh man, I'm biting my tongue. However, I will encourage you to seek counsel for your attraction to young girls. Again, I'm biting my tongue. I'm not saying nothing. Therefore, this is Charlie. Therefore, because the state is not choosing to pursue charges at this time, all charges are dropped, case dismissed. Now, Mr. Nelson, you need to sign this. That's what the letter said. I got to sign something. So, Bram comes bringing his short little shaky self up, and I'm like, okay, the judge just told me that that was dropped. So I'm not going to say anything. I don't like the way it happened. I'm going to sign it. He said, "No, yeah, that was it." He said, "If you agree with this, if you agree with this, you got to sign this." What did they have me sign? I'll get to that in a little bit. So I signed whatever it is, and man, they're right over my shoulder. I got the bailiff right there looking over my right shoulder, and I got Bram sitting there shaking, not even looking at me as I signed whatever the heck it is that they signed. I don't know. They told me all I had to do was show up. I'm just thinking that this is what they told. This is what needs to be done. Okay. So then he says, "Okay, all charges are dropped. Case dismissed. Have a nice day." And I'm still confused. I'm pissed off for one. Because there was no 14-year-old little girl. I'm not attracted to 14-year-old little girls. And he kept repeating, at this time. At this time. At this time. We're not pursuing charges at this time. You're a sick person. He's telling me I'm a sick person when I was the one that reported all of their crimes. But again, I'm trusting the law. I'm trusting the supposed servant of Almighty God, Charlie Coffer, who just impersonated a judge. Hey, look, they said all charges were dropped. They may have not liked the way that they were dropped, but they were dropped. And that's all I'm worried about. It was dismissed. That's what the court says. Okay? Now, what do? Now they just removed me from the equation. I believe that all these charges are dropped. I've just had a judge tell me, and the state attorney's office tell me, I got the letter. The state attorney's office tell me that all the charges are dropped. The judge has told me that all the charges are dropped. And I'm walking out of jail. I've got no way of proving it, but again, I think it's over and done with. So I said, okay, Lord, thank you, Lord Jesus. I may have not liked how it happened. I may not agree with how it happened. I may not like the way that the guy said it to me, but the guy said it. So now I'm just going to go on about my business. I'm going to go back home. I'm going to tell my landlord, I'm going to tell my family everything that happened. And again, I have no proof to prove anything. They didn't say, we're sorry, Mr. Nelson, this didn't happen. They didn't say, so sorry for inconveniencing you. No, nothing. They threatened me. We choose not to press charges at this time. In other words, if you do it again, I would suggest you seek counseling for your attraction to young girls, is what he said. I have no attraction to young girls. I can't order you because they're not pressing charges at this time. Meaning, if we ever have to, basically what they were telling me was, we know what you were trying to do, we just can't prove it. So, if you ever do anything even remotely like this again, oh, and he also said, I would encourage you not to call up any escort services ever again. Is what he told me to do. Also, I forgot that. I would encourage you not to ever call up another escort service again. In other words, if we catch you calling up an escort service, even if it's just to ask for information, we will come back and we will revisit this, and that will give us enough evidence or proof to make these charges stick. Remember, they kept saying, the state is choosing not to press charges at this time. Okay, well, I ain't worried about it. I'm not going to be calling up any escort services. I didn't call up any escort services before. Before 12/3/1997. So why in the world I'm not worried about anything? I didn't realize what was said to me until a few days later. But hey, again, he told me it was dropped. Have a nice day. Great. It's over and done with. Time for me to get on my life. Now, time for them. Now they know that they can go on and rewrite this arrest and booking report. They can rewrite this arrest and booking report, and they can start the whole process of trying to get rid of all of this information, all of these felonies. Okay? And obviously they did not succeed. And I'm going to show you exactly why they didn't succeed. Well, why didn't they succeed? Because Almighty God, Galatians chapter 6 verse 7, be not deceived, God is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, so shall he also reap. It's reaping time. let's do a quick recap of where we're at. Because I bonded out on the 8th, that forced them to do something, because now I'm out of their control. They have to do something. So what do? They decide to come up with the plan of rewriting this arrest and booking report. All they have to do is this number. The two clerks of the court's office do not communicate with each other. They put this number into the belly of the beast. All they need is an outcome for this number, 970470099-5. It doesn't matter. They control the information. They can all of a sudden say, they are trying to make the felony case disappear and claim that it was always a misdemeanor charge. That's what they're going to do. Because they have to get rid of all of the evidence. Because all the evidence of their crimes. Because if they don't do it, then they're all going to go to prison. Okay? So, what do? They come over to my house on the 9th and put a letter in my mailbox telling me that mysteriously all charges have been dropped. And I'm supposed to show up down at J1 on December 15th, Monday. So, they know exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to go tell all of my family members, hey, this is a great thing. All the charges are dropped. This is all the charges that are dropped. So, in order to explain what they're doing and why the charges are dropped, because my whole family knows about it, that's why they run this story. Y'all forgot about this story. This December, it ran on Friday, December 12th, 1997. I was told I bonded out on December 8th, 1997. I was then got the letter from the state attorney's office telling me that all of the charges were dropped on December 9th. I go tell everybody that all the charges are dropped. Drive down to my landlord's house, tell him, hello, look at this, and everybody's all excited. Then this little piece of work comes out. And again, that's the reason why, oh, see, now you're clicking. It's clicking. Okay? Now you understand exactly why this was written. Okay? And there were not 10 men arrested. You're about to find out. Why does Sergeant David Stevens need to write this story? Several reasons. One, he was the signature on the very first guy. He was the authorizing signature because they went in and grabbed him out of his house, is what they did. Because when they did that to that man on the 2nd, it was the 2nd day of the first ever reverse escort sting operation, and they haven't gotten anybody. All right? So, he writes this story to keep himself from going to prison, and all of his crew from going to prison, to save face, as well as so that the sheriff's department, the vice squad, and in fact the city isn't sued. Okay? These people are not the Gestapo. Alright? They can't just go around and do whatever they want to do. So, what do they come up with? They come up with, and they have to slander, they have to libel the 3 men who are giving them problems. Okay? Of the 10 men arrested, ranged in age from 22 to 67. 1 man was looking for sex with a man. Personally, I don't believe that he was. I personally believe that he just called up and he didn't, and they came over, and he just said, you know, he had a change of heart. He said, no, I don't like what's going on. Now, you all going to have to leave. And, well, they're control freaks. They arrested him anyway. Again, he had no money. None. So, what do? They shame him. They say, we're going to tell everybody that you like men. He's 60 years old. Okay? So, again, this man was looking for sex, oh my goodness gracious, with a man. That discredits him. So if he goes and tells anybody, he doesn't want to talk about this. And why do not, if one of us comes forward, if one of us comes forward, then the other two are going to come forward and say, wait a minute, hold on, they did the same thing to me. So they've got to discredit us to everyone. That's why this says another wanted a 14-year-old little girl. That's me. Remember what coffers just told me. They just told me on the 15th, or remember what coffer's going to tell me, because this story came out on the 12th. Okay? What coffer's going to tell me is remember, we know what you were trying to do, but we just can't prove it. I wish I could order you to seek counsel for your attraction to young girls, but I can't. So I will strongly suggest that you seek counseling for your attraction. That's gaslighting, folks. That is gaslighting. That's how it works. They know clear as well, I did not want a 14-year-old little girl. I did not ask for a younger little girl. That's gaslighting. That's transfer. Okay? So, I'm supposed to respect the other. They're wrong. They're right simply because he's got a title. Yet he's a fake judge. He's impersonating a judge. Okay? So that's gaslighting. So that's why this story says this. So now, when my family members, remember who? What? People are going to talk. I can't help that. People are going to say, well, what's going on with Kerry? What's going on? Well, we don't want to say he was arrested. What was he arrested? I wasn't arrested. I was abducted. I was kidnapped. So they're going to say, wanted. Couldn't prove it. Couldn't prove it. That's why we're dropping the charges. But, hey, man, you all need to keep an eye on this guy, because he wanted a 14-year-old little girl, everybody. All of Kerry's family, Kerry's pastors, everybody needs to watch Kerry because he wanted a 14-year-old girl. So says all of us criminal liars, fake and fraudulent ministers of Almighty God, which is, again, is why I'm not named in this article. Okay? And then the last guy that they're having a problem with is the 67-year-old man with Parkinson's disease that's fighting this. Why is he fighting it? Because, again, probably just like me, they solicited him. And again, I'll show you the rest in booking reports and coming videos. Okay? So, they got to slander us. Because if any one of us comes forward, it's going to be news. And then if this guy was abducted, kidnapped, and held for ransom, if one guy says it, well, you know, that's just his word against theirs. Okay? Once is an accident. Twice is a coincidence. 3 times is a pattern. Okay? You understand? So they have to discredit us. And again, this guy wanted sex so bad, he was willing to pay for it with a credit card. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? All shocking. All over the top. Everything related to sex and perversion. This guy's looking for sex with a man. This guy wanted a 14-year-old little girl. Can you believe that? And this guy wanted sex so bad he wanted to pay with a credit card. That comes out on the 12th. Again, I have no idea. No idea. No idea that this story's run, because I don't read the stinking newspaper. The only thing I read is a sports page. That's it. I don't watch the news. It's garbage. They do nothing but lie to you. So, the stage is now set. I go in on the 15th. And now when I come back from the 15th, the landlords are going to, they have this planted. All of my family members. All of my family members. They don't need to name me because all my family members already know what these criminals have been professing about me. I'm a sexual deviant, so says the law. If you didn't want a little girl, then why in the world were you arrested? What am I supposed to say? What exactly am I supposed to say? I can't say anything. So when I do come back out from the court date, and I do tell them, okay, everything was dropped, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. The damage has already been done to my name, to my reputation, to my credibility. Now, Christians think I'm a reprobate, and a reprobate is somebody who is deliberately and intentionally sinning, but refuses to admit that they're sinning. That's a reprobate. So, again, now, Kerry, look, we know what happened. Look, if you must have been trying something. You must have been doing something wrong, because they just don't come in. The Jacksonville Sheriff's Office just doesn't want to come in, grab you up off the street, and kidnap you. You want to bet? Not only did they did it 3 times in 1997. 3 times in the first week of December of 1997. And that's why this is in here, to discredit these people. Now, remember how I told you that there were only 7 men arrested? Remember how I told you that they were going to rewrite their whole goal is to rewrite this arrest and booking report and make it a 1-count misdemeanor charge? You remember how I said that? Okay. Well, I'm about to show you the proof. Okay? This is an arrest search from the Duval County Clerk of the Courts. You're looking right at the receipt. I paid $30.90 for this. Okay? And what I had them do is I had them run a arrest search with the courts for statute 796.07 subsection 2F. Actually, they just ran it on 796.07. Okay? And I gave them the week. I gave them the year. Because I had been on core trying to find a different court case, but nothing is in order. Everything's all mumble-jumbled up. Okay? You just can't go case by case by case by case by case by case by case, because it's all jumbled up. Okay? I wanted the arrest and booking reports. And this is how I got them. When did I do this? I did this 10/17/2013. Okay? Now, remember, he says, Sergeant Davis Stevens said that 10 men were arrested. Right? Can you count? I can count. Okay? Can y'all see that? You know what? Let me zoom in. Okay. We're gonna come back. These are the case numbers. Okay? We're gonna come back to that. Now, here are the offense dates. Okay? Offering for prostitution, that's a female. So that doesn't count. Soliciting for prostitution, first degree. Okay? That is, that's me. No, that's the first guy. Okay? Because here's the arrest dates. 12/1. Well, that's a female. Okay? 12/2. This is the very first guy that they did this to. Okay? And if you notice here, here's the... All right, we'll come back to that. Okay? 12/2. Here is the guy, the first guy that was arrested. What was he arrested for? Soliciting for prostitution, first degree. And what you're going to see is that's a lie. First degree means you've done it more than once. That's what 4B, statute 4B is. Okay? You've been arrested more than once for solicitation of prostitution. But how in the world can you be arrested as a John when this was the first reverse escort sting in which the police targeted the Johns, Stevens said. Because they control the information. They are trying to slander the man if he ever comes back and looks into this. Is what they're doing. They're controlling the information. Okay? They control the information. If the truth ever comes out, they're all going to prison. Better lie about these three guys than to have us end up in prison. Now, the next arrest date. This is me. 12/3. Wait a minute. There's two arrests? You're looking right at it. 12/3/1997. Case disposition date 1/5. What? Wait a minute. Hold on a second. You've got when was this case disposition done? 1/6/1998. Okay? 1/6/1998. Okay? Case disposition date 1/5/1998. That's the felony case file. Hold on, I got to open it up. Hold on. This is the felony case file. Case disposition date is 1/5/1998. That's when it was filed and transferred. So why? What, I got arrested twice? Yep. Watch this. Here it is. Let me move it over some. There you go. All right? There you go. So, misdemeanor case. Right there. This is the misdemeanor case. MM00035 MMXA. Right there. Okay? That's the misdemeanor case. Charge count is how many? See the charge count? How many is the charge count for the misdemeanor case? 1. 1 charge count. Well, hold on a second. Hold on a second. This has 2 charges listed. This has 2 charges listed because they were forced to put it in there. What they did, you're looking at the rewriting of that arrest and booking report. What is the 1 charge count, the initial offense level? Misdemeanor of the 2nd degree. What's the initial statute? I told you that's what they were going to do. 796.07 subsection 2F. Soliciting for prostitution. Okay? When the file date was 1/6/1998, they were forced to do that. You will make sense. It will make sense. And the case disposition date was 1/6/1998. Cannot happen, according to the Florida statutes. It cannot happen. And again, what is the arrest date? I got to move the camera back over. What is the arrest date? 12/3/1997. Okay, so let's go back over and let's look at the felony. Where is this arrest and booking report at then? Where is this one count arrest and booking report for solicitation of prostitution? It's hiding, and I know exactly where it's hiding. Okay? That's the rewriting of this arrest and booking report, folks. This right here, this is the rewriting of this arrest and booking report. They just took this number and made it a misdemeanor offense. Because they need to destroy this. They need to destroy this. So they went to the circuit court, to the circuit clerk of the court, got all of the documents after telling me that all the charges were dropped. Because the last thing they want me to do is showing up at court on 12/18. Okay? So, they make sure that I show up. That's why the clerk came out, or the bailiff, or whoever it was, came out and said, "Is Mr. Nelson here?" "Yep, I'm here." "Great, everybody, we can come on in now. We're going to prevent 100 people from going to prison. Come on in." Okay? They told me all the charges were dropped, and now they are rewriting. They just rewrited it. And they have to insert it in. They're ignoring the felony case, and they're saying it was originally a misdemeanor of the second degree. It was originally this never took place. This is why the misdemeanor is in front of the felony. Okay? Felony, 1998 CF 000113. Well, let's see what is it? What is it? 113. You're looking right at it. You're looking right at it, folks. Okay? So, what is this one for? This one is for, well, I'm going to tell you what it's for. It's for this arrest. Okay? But remember, they control the information, so they just say charge count 2 with what is the initial offense level. I don't know. Mysterious initial offense level. Well, I'm going to tell you what the initial offense level was a non-existent felony. You're looking right at it. So they're going, but again, they're going with the, oh, no. It was just solicitation of prostitution, when this document says that it wasn't just solicitation of prostitution, it was soliciting for the solicitation of prostitution of a minor. Okay? And again, when was this offense date? When did I supposedly do this? Oh, look at that. 12/3, 1997. So what they're saying is, on 12/3, 1997, I was arrested twice for solicitation of prostitution. You're looking right at it. That's exactly what they're saying. Okay? Now, I told the guy, there's supposed to be 10 arrests. 10 arrests, okay? So what he does is he runs it through the 10th of December. Through the 9th of December. Okay? He runs it for the first 10 days of December. And he said, look, you got 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. One little problem. I'm on there twice, and these two people are female. And you can tell that they're female because they were arrested for offering prostitution, lewdness, or assignation. offering for prostitution or lewdness, or they are the prostitutes. Now, if you still doubt that that's not me, here are all the same cases. Look at my little name. Right there. And what does it say? I was adjudicated guilty for the solicitation of prostitution. One. Information was filed on 1/6. That's Bram Scharf, because they were forced to. And here we go. This one was transferred to county court and apparently has never yet to be dealt with because there is no court action for it. Well, I can tell you it's never been dealt with because here it is. Because if it's ever dealt with, they're all going to go to prison. So there you go. Proof that they rewrote this arrest and booking report. They've just inserted it into the beast. So why didn't they get away with it? I'm going to tell you why. Because they're mocking Almighty God. Almighty God sees what they're doing. Okay? And they have... So what has Bram done? Bram has all of these documents ready. These two documents. Him and Terrence. They had this all signed up. That's why. And they've already been stapled together. And they're already. This January 6th is a sentencing date. Okay, and Bram's just holding on to all of this. That's why it's stapled together. Okay, so they get me out the way. Then they go. They probably go to. Again, I can't prove it, but they probably went to Roberto because Roberto's on the hook. Okay? Because Roberto found people guilty of crimes that were never committed. Found people guilty of crimes that do not exist. There is no such thing as criminal solicitation of prostitution. Y'all need to stop that. Also notice that LaFonda Gibson's name is deliberately... It says there, LaFonda Harris. That's to hide her. In order to find out her real name, you got to come down and see LaFonda Gibson. They control the information. They can make it say whatever they want to say. They can insert this information whenever they want to. Okay, so they went and they had... I just showed you how they rewrote the arrest and booking report. So now they have a court case off the books, and now all they're doing is they are inserting this. They are inserting this in. Because, hello, we've already gone through the first appearance and everything, foot 497. Now all we're doing is we're going to sentence this guy. And I won't know. There's nobody there to stop him. I don't have no idea. If they do it right, there will be no record of it. Then what they will do is Bram will take all of the case files, all of the information. Bram will take all of this evidence of their crimes, okay? He will take all of this and destroy it. Okay? He'll take this. He will take... Jacksonville Sheriff's Office will destroy this. The State Attorney's Office will destroy all of its information because they have no intention of creating this misdemeanor case file or this felony case file. Because if they do, then it documents their crimes. Because then there will be a record. I can always come back and say, what in the world are you all doing? They will be caught. They know that if it ever comes out that they are doing what they've done, that they will go to jail. Because they are just shredding the Constitution of the United States of America. They know that if it ever comes out that they have rewritten an arrest and booking report, filed it, and prosecuted it, all they're doing is they are redoing what they have already done. That's exactly what this is. This is a false arrest that was prosecuted. Hence the arraignment date. Hence the setting of a bond. Hence the bond hearing. Hence the $25,003 bond that was set for these made-up, fictitious, non-existent, these lies. It's a lie. And if it ever comes out that they rewrote arrest and booking report number 970470099-5, then it confirms that the Jacksonville Vice, they didn't arrest me, falsely detained me, /imprisoned me, kidnapped me, tortured me. They harassed me for 2.5 hours. Then they kidnapped me and tortured me for another 2.5 hours. Then they kidnapped me, and then the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office took over and kidnapped me. And then the State Attorney's Office did the very same thing. Then one judge found probable cause to detain. He did the very same thing. Then Taggart's just done the very same thing. And now the clerk of the court has just filed all of this false information. Just filed it all. Right here. They've just filed it all. Let me scroll through. Right here. They filed it. 9/7. They're all on the hook. There's nobody to blame. So unless we rewrite this arrest and booking report, unless we rewrite this, we're all going to prison because there's nobody to blame. So what we're going to do is we're going to have, if we do it right, then the only ones that are going to know, the only ones that are going to think bad about Mr. Kerry Joseph Nelson is Mr. Kerry Joseph Nelson's immediate family. The worst, he's only out, better than have my name slandered. He's a criminal anyway. He drives around on a suspended license. He's a criminal. We know what he was trying to do. You called the phone number. We know what you were trying to do. Y'all people need to stop that. This is what happens. This is exactly what happens. And folks, again, I'm not mad at these people. I've forgiven them. They need to repent. If they do not repent, if they do not ask for forgiveness for this, they're going to bust hell wide open. And all of you people who I notice the biggest problem that I'm having with people right now is they do not want to admit that they thought they've known about this, and they do not want to admit that they actually said something bad about me now that the truth is coming out. If I was guilty, if I was trying to do something, why would I bring it back to light again? Which brings me to my next point. If they get caught, if they document what they've done, it proves that this was a false arrest and booking. It proves me right. It proves that all I've been doing since May 2nd, 2013 is report their crimes. And I'm still reporting them. I will not be quiet. You will not shame me. I still have people, I still have family members. I said this before, I'm going to say it again. I still have family members that are convinced. They've told me point blank, I think, don't think, no, don't tell, show. Okay, go. I think you were going down there to try to hook up with a 14-year-old little girl. Yet if that's what I was trying to do, then why wasn't I arrested for that? Where exactly is the 14-year-old little girl? If I really truly had, if I was willing to pay $100 for sex with a 14-year-old little girl, where exactly is the money? And again, by rewriting, all they're trying to do is get rid of this. By rewriting it, all they're doing is digging their grave even deeper. That's it. Where's that document? Where is the arrest and booking report that says that I was arrested for charge number 1? It doesn't exist. It does not exist. Because they never intended. If these case files were never made, then I would have never known about anything. I would have never known to do an arrest search for all of this. I would have never even begun looking into this. And I didn't, again, I was informed of this by 3 mothers on May 2nd, 2013, who basically told me that I have several sexual I've been arrested for several sexual offenses. That's when I started looking into it. I was told by Charlie in charge, Coffer, on the 15th, that all the charges were dropped. Which means, as far as I was concerned, this never happened. As far as the court is concerned, this never happened. There was no record of it. Because again, if they got away with it, then I would look like an imbecile. My family would just say, yeah, I know what you were trying to do, because there would be no proof. Again, they still have never seen this document. All of these people making all of these assumptions about me have never seen this document. Now you know that there is no such thing as an attempted lewd lascivious upon a minor. Now you know that in order to solicit a minor to prostitute themselves, you kind of need a minor, and there is no minor. You know everything. You also know that if anyone ever does solicit a minor to prostitute themselves, it's not a misdemeanor. And this Florida Statute 796.07 is not used. It is lewd or lascivious conduct, and it is a felony, and Florida Statute 800.04 is used. They don't know that. They don't want to look at that. Why? I'm going to tell you the biggest reason why is because they do not want to admit that they have said something bad about me. They don't want to admit that they're human. I'm not mad at them. Again, I said it before, I'm going to say it again. I am not mad at anyone for believing a lie. I don't blame them, especially when it's supposed to be ministers of Almighty God. It's supposed to be godly authorities that tell the truth when they're the ones telling the lie. I'm not going to fault somebody for believing a lie. I blame, the problem is the fake and fraudulent counterfeit. Okay? And now they do not want to admit that they said anything that they have ever said, oh yeah, Kerry was trying to hook up with a 14-year-old little girl. We need to keep we need to, or as in the Times Union article says, we need to keep an eye on Kerry. We need to make sure that Kerry does the right thing. Because remember back in '97, he wanted a 14-year-old little girl, and we know he did it because hello, he was arrested for it. Where's the 14-year-old little girl? So now I have remained silent. I haven't said anything because I've had nothing to say, and in fact, I totally forgot all about it. And that's what they wanted to happen. They wanted all of this to go away. They do not want this to be filed. Because if it ever filed, they know, they've already had enough of me. I don't say anything, and when I talk with Miss LaFonda, oh man, I lit her up with the truth. I've got no problem telling the truth. I've got nothing to hide. They're the ones who are trying to hide everything. And the only reason why still some of you all believe are still saying, well, I think you were trying to see a 14-year-old girl, is because you've got something to hide yourself. You are afraid of this very thing happening to you. Well, these criminals knew that this day was going to come, because what they found out is Galatians chapter 6 verse 7, the Word of God is clear, the Word of God is true. God is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, so shall he also reap. If you really think that Almighty God is going to let a person who has willingly accepted the oath to be a representative of Almighty God violate Almighty God's law and mock Almighty God and try to discredit a called minister of the gospel of Jesus Christ, you're stupid. You're stupid if you think God's going to do that. But God has given them over 20 years to repent. They've had 20 years to repent. Apparently they have yet to repent, because this document is still sitting down at the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office hiding, because it all got filed. Because they tried to use their godly position, their position as a minister of Almighty God, to mock Almighty God and to discredit a child of the Most High God. And they found out in January that this day would come. They've been knowing that this day would come because Almighty God is in control, not man. Okay? Again, they rewrote the arrest and booking report. They inserted it and said, you know what, 970470099-5, this did not happen. It was really a one-count misdemeanor arrest for solicitation of prostitution. So what we're going to do is, he pled no contest on 12/4, and we had him ordered and adjudged to get to take the AIDS test. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to sneak him in right here on 1/6/1998. Okay? That's not documented. It doesn't have to be documented, because what they're saying is the felony case file is my first appearance. Remember, they're saying this never took place. This never happened. This was really a one-count misdemeanor arrest. Because again, if they get away with it, they're going to destroy everything. And then I'm just stuck walking around with all of my family members knowing or thinking, believing that I'm a sexual deviant who hunts after little girls. Desires, wants 14-year-old little girls. That's what it says right there. So says this fake and fraud counterfeit criminal, David Stevens. And the only reason why he's saying that is because if he doesn't say that, he's going to prison. Him and all of his co-conspirators. This is a conspiracy to obstruct justice. Because it's better to have me walk around with all of this on my record. It's better. This hasn't been created yet. It's better for me to have my family members believe that this really happened. It's better for them, and what they're going to do is they're going to look at me and they're going to see things that aren't there simply because of who is saying this. That's how gaslighting works. That's how transfer works. Y'all need to keep an eye on this guy. You need to keep an eye on this guy. So that's what they've been doing for the past 20 years, keeping an eye on me. I haven't talked about this ever since then, because I can't. What am I supposed to say? I've been told that everything's been dropped. And I'm not relying on man. I keep going to God, Almighty God. I said, all right, after I left from Charlie on the 15th, I said, what do I do? He said, just go on about your life. It's over and done with. You've got nothing else to do right now. Just go on about your life. Okay. That's what I did. That's exactly what I did. And the simple fact that I didn't run around and say, oh, you all going to pay? I didn't make it happen. I didn't say, you all need to pay for falsely arresting me. What about this? What about that? What about the other? Nope, I didn't do that. Why? Because I don't make things happen. I'm an obedient servant of Almighty God. I know the truth. The truth is, I know this is nothing but fiction. And again, I was told I have no idea that Coffer is impersonating a judge. I've got no idea that they plan on and that they have rewritten this arrest and booking report. And again, I'm the last person in the world that they want to know, that they want to find out that this happened, because they knew that all of these videos is exactly what I'm going to do. Because remember, they had enough of me back in 1997. I know everything that they've done. And I am the only one left now that there is no record of in court of admitting that I was trying to pay for sex. These two guys, everybody else admitted it. There's only 3 people. The 67-year-old man didn't admit it. His attorney did it for him. Because his attorney, D. Schaefer, is a criminal. Okay? That's why they could not get any one of us 3 guys to admit. Remember, the 60-year-old guy, his case file's been destroyed. Remember? I showed it to you. He still owes the court. He was never sentenced. That case file says he was never sentenced. So what happens? I'm getting ahead of myself. What happens? They rewrite it. You're seeing it. You already know what happens. They insert it, and they're waiting for the 16th to come up. They're waiting for the 6th to come up, rather. Okay? And Almighty God says, okay, I see what y'all doing. I am omnipotent. I'm everywhere, all the time, all at the same time. You all are not being ministers of God, and I'm not going to let you get away with this. So, What time of day is this? This is the first roommate. What time of day is his sentencing hearing for? 9 a.m. Where is it at? 23rd, courtroom 23. What time of day is this guy's sentencing hearing held? 9 a.m. Where is it at? Courtroom 23, 330 East Bay Street Courthouse. Now, what does my misdemeanor case file say? What time was this supposed arraignment date done? 2 p.m. Where at? J1. Now let me explain to you what their intentions were to slip me in. I believe, I can't prove it. They can. They got it documented. Somewhere it's documented who was supposed to be where and doing what. I firmly believe that I was going to be in, it was originally set up to be in courtroom 23 with Roberto. Okay? Now remember I told you that they had me sign something. What did they have me sign? Well, that was me giving, signing off. It's called abstentia, is what it is. Because when the 67-year-old guy pled no contest and he was sentenced, he wasn't there because he gave the power. He gave his voice to the attorney. So what they're going to do is, what their intention was to have me show up on the 23rd, or have who? Not LaFonda. LaFonda don't want nothing to do with me. Okay? They're going to have Richard Sellinger show up and plead in absentia. Plead for me. Because if you look at this case file, nowhere does it say that I was present. The only thing it says here about me is defendant attorney N. That means none. Wait a minute, then why? But I was ordered a public no defender. You already seen it. So why is Richard Sellinger there? Richard Sellinger, they had me sign a piece of paper because they're planning on doing this. Remember, they're not going to keep any of this stuff. They're going to destroy it. They control the information. So they fully intended to have me to show. They fully intended, which also means that means that the chief judge had to be in on this. And also remember, folks, when I was down at when I showed up at J1 on the 15th, there was a real judge on the bench. That's another criminal. There were real state attorneys up there. Those are more criminals. Who are they? I don't know, but I'm quite sure it is a matter of, it's documented within the court, within the clerk of the court's office as to what judge and what attorney was in what courtroom on December 15th, 1997. I told you they're like cockroaches. They just keep coming. All of those people just didn't get up and walk out and let Coffer impersonate. You don't accidentally impersonate a judge. You're allowed to. You're allowed to. This wasn't done in a parking lot somewhere. It was done in a courtroom with a real judge, and then the real judge and the stenographer and everybody got up and walked out the door. More criminals. Why? Because of how big this is. They've got to make it go away. Otherwise, they'll all go to prison. Because that's how they operate. They get hooks in everybody. Just tell the truth. But you will see that there is nothing on here that says that I was even present. even present. Okay? But it got filed. So, what happened? Here's what I believe happened. In order to have it in Roberto's, I mean, they're not going to go through all of this just by chance, just to risk, because they're committing multiple felonies. They're shredding the Constitution. So what are they going to do? They're going to stack the deck, which they've always been doing, and they're going to make sure that on the 6th I am in front of a judge that has knowledge of this, and it will be handed off to a state attorney that has knowledge of this, that's in on it. That means they need to make sure that the only way to make sure that it goes before their crooked judge is to have the then chief judge in on it, because it is the chief judge that sets the docket for all of the other judges. The chief judge decides where the judges are going to be and what they're going to do for that day. You all didn't know that. So, what I believe happens is that they have it all set up, and for whatever reason, it could have been anything. This docket was too full. Roberto's docket was too full. I don't know. Maybe he had a change of heart and he left, because this is happening in the AM. Maybe he had a change of heart and he said, "No, I'm not going to take part in this. I'm not going to take part in this." And for whatever reason, it was moved to Mallory D. Cooper's docket, who is holding court in J1. Now, the sentencing takes 30 seconds. Okay? Because I've already pled no contest. All they're going to do is they're going to put all the fake information in front of them. So what she's looking at is she's looking at the rewritten fake one-count arrest and booking report. She's looking at the piece of paper that I signed that says that I've given what's his name, Richard Sellinger. I've given him power of attorney. I've given him the right to speak for me. And all he's going to do is he's just going to say, yeah, he pled no contest. And here is we've already got the AIDS test and everything. She's not going to look into it. It's done in like 15 seconds. Okay, well, he's sentenced to. The only thing that I don't think happened was I don't think she found me guilty. Notice, I am the only one of all of these cases that was adjudicated guilty. The only one. Everybody else, all the other 6 guys, the adjudication was withheld. I'm the only one that was adjudicated guilty. Why? Because you cannot seal and adjudicate. I think that was done after the fact. Meaning that this court book record right here is another, hello, they've already done it. I don't think that she found me guilty. I think she withheld the adjudication of guilt and just put forward case fees. Okay? Because there's no reason to find me guilty. It was my first ever, it would have been, should I say, my very first ever criminal act. So yes, you're looking at another lie. Because they can't have me, if you're found guilty of something, you cannot revisit it. You cannot seal it. You cannot have the record sealed. So says Florida law. Which means I can't do anything about it. You want to bet? Because it's fundamental error. They can't produce this document. So it gets filed. So it shows up before the Mallory D. Cooper, and they have a cow. And what we're going to go over, and it gets filed. And in the next video, that's what we're going to go over. Everything, we're going to go over the remaining contents of this supposed case file and what happens next. Because, as you've already seen, there's a whole lot more that happens. This drags on into 2000. Okay? But in January, as soon as this was filed in January 6th of 1998, they knew that this day would come. Now all they're going to try to do is drive me out of this city. Now do you understand why this false felony arrest and booking report is still sitting down at the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office in the year 2018 without this arraignment date ever being filled? Something tells me you do.